What is up, you damn nerds? This devblog is massive this month. They dropped an absolute load all over us. I've already read this entire thing. I'll put a link in the description so you can go read it for yourself. I'm not going to read you everything, just the things of major note. Rex, Trike, Allo, already in progress. We know that. Rex just needs a few more animation adjustments, and he's almost in the horde test right after Trike is. I guess Rex won't be getting his ambush until he is sub-adult, which is cool. So Juvies will not be able to ambush. Working on Rex's crush ability and stuff like that. And then they're just touching up some animations for Triceratops, and then he'll get added to the horde test. Emerald has been working on Carno, Tenno, Omni, Jiraiyo, and Deer AI and behaviors. So hopefully AI gets some new pathfinding and is not completely stupid. And then we got some new human structures from Viz. That tiny square is 1 meter. I don't know if this is a person for scale down here. This thing is huge. This gate, just holy shit. You could probably fit a whole fucking sauropod through this door. Very detailed, very nice. Got some piping, got a little office area, clock. Some more pictures of the human structures. Got a nice bathroom. And Wedge, essentially just saying he's topping off some Myosaurus sounds. So from what I have read so far, stealth is going to have a huge overhaul. Every creature in each category, like small, medium, large, is going to have different sounds depending on their size. So if a small creature is crouching, it's just going to make some leaves crunching and shit. Maybe like a medium creature is going to have some branches snapping and moving around. And a large creature, it's going to sound like a lot of debris pushing around when you're crouching. But overall, stealth is getting a huge upgrade. Different surfaces are going to have different sounds depending on what you're crouching on. Sounds very cool. So stealth is definitely going to be more viable. So yeah, very cool. Really huge one here. Tapwing, for some reason, has been tasked with drawing the Tissoplastic Reaper. We've seen the Reaper before in the Legacy days. Bro has massive ears covering his eyes. He doesn't even have eyes. He could probably see more with his ears than anything can with its eyes, honestly. This thing is crazy. Humans are going to get demolished by this thing. Any creature on the island is going to get demolished by this thing. This thing is crazy. Think what you want about this thing. The isle has never just been about dinosaurs. It's had a bunch of like mutant lore and shit. So if this is brand new to you, well, here you go. And then Hypno, the QA lead, testing the Triceratops and the Rex in the QA branch, which is private. We do not have access to. I guess they've been running into a lot of bugs with Rex and Trike. If you guys want to take a look at these bug videos, feel free to click the link in the description. I'll leave it down there. I guess this Rex has a head fracture. His jaw is like going through his nose. You can see his tongue. That looks funny as hell. And finally, we have Kissin just essentially talking about how the devs have been seriously cooking this month. They have gotten a lot done. If you guys haven't tested out the horde testing branch, I would do so. The faster we get the current horde test moving, the faster we get Triceratops and Rex. So please hop in horde testing. Cerato, Herrera, Omni, Trudon, Maya, and others are getting some serious changes from mild to wild. So basically, some are going to get small tweaks. Some creatures are going to get huge changes. So it looks like a lot of animals that are currently in the game are going to get some nice, I wouldn't say overhauls, maybe some ability reworks. We'll see. Even said here, the animation team has been cooking with gas. Not just cooking, but with gas. Every creature so far, from T-Rex, Triceratops, Allo, Ostro, and Kentro, all creatures we know are in active development. I guess all of them are pretty much animation complete. Keep in mind that doesn't mean they're close to being released, with the exception of T-Rex and Triceratops. But Allo, Ostro, and Kentro, I would imagine they still have quite a bit of work done, but animation wise they're pretty much topped off, so they just have programming and other things to get through. And my personal favorite, they have also begun animating the baryonyx, which you'll be seeing very soon once I scroll down. So here it looks like we have a new screen effect when we're vomiting or vomited on. I'm not really sure what the implication for this is going to be. I'm assuming it's just for immersion purposes, so maybe you get bit by a Cerato, you vomit, and you just get the screen effect. Obviously it's not going to be animated like this. It looks like it's quickly just kind of blasting through the different stages of the screen. So it's not going to look exactly like this, but I would assume the more you vomit, the more that's going to build up on your screen, which is very cool. It's actually really nice that they're looking at things like this. They're also adding a new screen to Envenomation. So if a Dilo and or Trudon bites you, your screen is going to get very tense. It's going to get dark, almost veiny even on the edges, like your eyes are straining. New blood screen screen effects. The ones we have aren't bad, but holy shit, these look amazing. Look at the blood dripping down the screen. That looks so good. And finally, we have some baryonyx animations. This is the baryonyx swallowing animation. Keep in mind, this white oval here is not an egg. This is just a placeholder for what he would be swallowing for animation purposes. So it could be anything from a small Dryo to a large fish. And here, at first, I thought this was a sniff animation, but this is actually a drinking animation. He gets down on one hand, he starts sipping. I love how you have this big, tough, spinosaurid, giant claws. His concept art is portrayed as him beating absolute ass. And his drinking animation is like a little cute sip in the water. I'm not mad at that. That looks adorable. I'm a big fan of this drinking animation. That's actually really cool. And then here, I don't know entirely what this is. I'm not sure if this is an F call. I couldn't tell you. This is definitely the hurt animation. He gets hurt, bonked, charged. This is the animation that plays basically. This is the turn in place animation. Very smooth. I like how his arms kind of sway with him. He just kind of has them like hanging. It also adds a lot of weight to his arms. It makes them seem pretty powerful. His arms are just massive, so they just kind of sway with him as he's walking. And then of all things, we have a Ceratosaurus animation. I'm not really sure what this is for. I don't know if this is an updated idol. It could be. They did say they're updating some things about the creatures that are currently in the game. I'm not entirely sure on this one. And take this one with a grain of salt. Keep in mind, none of these animations are guaranteed to make it to the game. For all I know, these could be getting scrapped or changed. This animation right here could mean Omni's getting like an entirely new attack, or this could be some sort of missed pounce animation. I'm hoping this is some sort of like heavy hitting attack that he can do. That would be very cool. You can see Ateno like sliding on a very sloped surface here. It's a sliding animation, obviously. You can see his like tail swaying with the wind, the downward force as he's sliding, and then he's like struggling to keep his balance from rolling over. I don't know where it says it in the dev blog, but the first time I read it, they did say that every creature in the game is going to be getting somewhat of a sliding animation to prevent them from falling down slopes like this and taking crazy damage. So if you're careful enough, you can start sliding like this and try to at least reduce the damage from the fall. Because I'm not entirely sure if this is going to completely negate fall damage or just majorly reduce it. But this looks super cool. I'm pretty sure right here is Baryonyx pattern C. We've seen A and B, but I'm pretty sure this is C. Finally getting some Giga patterns. These look great. Some people are not a big fan of the Giga redesign. Personally, I'm not very biased to Legacy or Evrima Giga design. I think they both look really good. It is what it is. I love how the male display pattern goes all along his back. Here's a more zoomed out image here. Same pattern, different angle. Here we have Homalocephale and his patterning. It looks very sick. I love how he has the big orange spots on his head, almost like a tiger pattern on his side. Honestly, it seems like a lot of the smaller creatures are getting way cooler patterns than the bigger ones, because this looks phenomenal. Even the Magyarosaurus, this looks incredible. Look at his flap sack, the male display on the top of his head, and on his gullet, and around his eyes. That looks super cool. I love the coloration kind of highlighting all of his osteoderms. That looks sick. And then just kind of like a splotch of the dark gray here. This looks awesome. This one looks sick as well. More of the darker variant, using a lighter color for the male pattern. Looks very cool. And just some better angles of the pattern before. Here we have another pattern. This one doesn't have the male display on the gullet, but it does have it on the top, which is very interesting. This one is super different from the other ones. And then his flank coloration outlines the front of his nasal cavity. That looks super cool. He even has like a little eyebrow here. We got the Megalania render a little while back, but now we're actually getting full-on patterns for this guy. This is just crazy. I didn't think we were going to see any Megalania whatsoever. He was like at the bottom of my list for what I was expecting. A very distinct and faded coloration leading to the top of his hump. This is very reminiscent of a Komodo dragon. Even to the tail looks one-to-one what a Komodo dragon does in real life. This looks very cool. I'm not a big fan of the colors themselves, but the patterning here is awesome. But this seems to be the male display, the blue here running across the middle to the top of his back. Even got some in the front of his nasal cavity right here. Overall, pretty sweet. Got some better angles of him right here. Here we got the Protoceratops. We have male display around the crest, kind of right underneath his eyes. I'm not a big fan of how these colors are meshing together, but I can see the vision with the pattern. The crest looks sick. This is something we should have gotten for Triceratops. Some sort of eye pattern looks sick. This is actually one of the smaller playables that I'm actually excited for. I can't wait for Proto. though. Then we got some angles of Spino as well. Little nail patterning here, running along the side. It's very like splotchy along his neck. That looks really cool. Pretty edgy, but it's cool. I like it. Better angle here as well. Dude is massive. I love how the brownish gray from his flank is also outlining the sail here. It looks really cool. Definitely worth it. These things look super fucking cool. But yeah, guys, this month is huge. We pretty much got confirmation that the next like 5 playables are getting serious work done on them. And we have a lot of playables on the horizon that are getting some serious work done, as well as Baryonyx. Giga is getting his patterning, Megalania, Spino. Like I said, take everything on this devlog with a grain of salt. None of these animations that they showed us may or may not be seen in the distant future, and they may or may not be changed or removed. But yeah, Trike and Rex super soon. Once we get the current horde test polished out, we'll be getting Triceratops. Super hyped. This devlog this month surpassed any expectation I had. You can definitely tell they're getting a lot of progress on a lot of different things done, which I appreciate. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this devlog this month. Pretty juicy. More than I expected. But overall, I am not complaining. This devlog was awesome. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you. Peace.